The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Meridell Achievement Center. Meridell Achievement Center specializes in behavioral programs for adolescents. Dr. Barbara Matthews, a licensed psychologist, evaluates these kids and helps them get better outcomes for themselves and their families. She's here to tell us more today. Dr. Matthews, first of all, could you tell us about your testing department here at Meridell and what you do here as a psychologist?
Of course. I'm a licensed psychologist. I've been licensed for 30 years. And I've been here at the Meridell Achievement Center for the past 6, doing psychological evaluations. So when a child comes into Meridell, they're assigned a treatment team, and they try to work together to best understand the child. They have a psychiatrist who can prescribe medication, they have nursing care, they have a therapist that does family and individual therapy, and they have recreational therapy. So my job is to help the parents and the treatment team understand the child first as a human being, of course, but also in more depth and to provide the most accurate diagnosis.
I'd like to hear about the kinds of diagnoses your evaluations cover.
Sure, pretty much everything. So anything from autism to ADHD, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, PTSD. So my main goal is to understand the child from as many perspectives as possible. And so that means I gather a whole lot of information and put it together. And I'm trying to look at 3 main variables. The first one is genetics. So I want to find out if there's any family history of psychiatric illness. So just like heart disease and diabetes, psychiatric illness runs in families. And then the second one is attachment and early development and trauma. So I want to know if there's been any developmental delays. I want to know if there's medical issues. And then the third thing is called neurodevelopmental issues. It's a very big umbrella that encompasses autism, ADHD, learning disabilities.
And I'd like to dovetail that by asking how a psychological evaluation like the one that you do helps that treatment team that you talked about and helps the parents of these kids.
Yeah, I think the most important thing that parents really find helpful currently is that if a child meets the criteria for autism, then they can take my report to a school or future providers, and the child can then be eligible for services that they may not have been before. That's really valuable to the parents.
Really interesting information today. Dr. Matthews, we appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Contact Meridell today via phone at 800-366-9656 or get an assessment started by going to meridell.com. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Meridell Achievement Center.